It's a farce, and it's a bill of goods that's being sold on the public. Now, when you get into this whole thing and you get back to the FBI, you have to understand that the FBI is not a holy organization.
It's a gang.
How it came into existence, they wanted to get Jack Johnson. Jack Johnson was the first black world heavyweight champion.
Back with some more Judge Joe Brown and Candace Owens. Right now, he's about to disclose how the GOVT, we know who they are, you understand what I mean? But yeah, he's going to talk about how the feds infiltrated Hollywood and the media, how they took over and they actually control the way of thinking, the behavior of how things are occurring today nowadays. You know, fast forward to today's, everything is in fruition. You know, the seeds have been planted a long time ago. And now, guess what? Every generation are carrying it on further and further. So with that being said, if you like reactions like this, consider hitting that like button. Definitely subscribe to the channel and also hit the notification bell. Let's see how this is about to play out.
And the worst thing you want is the apex predator on the planet Earth to be out of control, which is exactly what they were setting up. And this thing came together, and it juxtaposed itself in a situation where Hollywood's movie studios were going bankrupt in the face of color television. A color TV up until the mid-'60s, the screen looked just like this table. It was round and no bigger than that. And then they got square when the technology improved. So people were staying at home watching their color TVs. 1967, if you were an adult, you'd pay 50 cents to get in a movie, and you got 2 movies, and they changed every Thursday and Sunday, no matter how well they did. You got 3 cartoons and a couple of sub-features. Walk in anytime you wanted, stay as long as you wanted. So then somebody came up with the bright idea, let's just have one movie at a time, keep it playing as long as people will come. Let's go get the black markets. The minority markets, they want to see themselves. That's a massive amount of money out there. Let's start using the opportunity to spread dysfunction through glorification of it. We don't want Sidney Poitier playing a part where he's trying to be this and that. Let's get Fred the Hammer Williams to play a drug dealer.
Wow, makes a lot of sense if you think about it, no? If you see nowadays, right, I mean, you always hear the old school people always talking about how things were always about love and, you know, the violence wasn't as high as it is today, but it makes sense now, you know. All of these movies conditioned everybody, you know. It was a conditioning. They made sure that they got involved in Hollywood so they could make certain kind of movies to condition us, and at the same time, in the music business, you understand? They started making artists, you know, go a specific direction, and what happens, you want to become, you know, you want to become like your favorite artist, then you're going to go the same direction they're going. You're going to talk about something similar as opposed to, you know, being an actual trendsetter and doing your own thing. Now they're conditioning you through them without you even knowing. You understand what I mean? Without you even realizing this is going on. That's kind of slick from them.
Like Black Caesar, so you glorify being a pimp, a hoe, and we'll come back to that in a bit. A gangster, a drug dealer, a murderer, a thief, and you got Foxy Brown with Pam Grier, and there was this whole thing where they'd have the obligatory naked, nude scenes in the whole thing. And the plot would be somebody got killed by somebody's drug dealers, and then so they wanted the revenge, and then they wanted to become drug dealers, and then you got Superfly and all of that nonsense, and you got glorification of dysfunction. And the theory that I heard was that young black men are supposed to be the epitome of masculinity, so let's effeminize them, and then you can effeminize the whole public, because the young white guys will try to copy the young black guys, and if you effeminize the young black guys, you get everybody in this mess. And then that led to what they did with the rap genre, which has been stagnant for 45 years. I mean, it's gotten more profane, but it hasn't changed.
But also, it's exceedingly homosexual. I mean, everyone's gay.
Yes, it is. And the other thing is, it's not very masculine, because some of the malinformed feminists say it's this sexual fantasy. That's not what you're looking at when you're looking at the half-naked bimbos bouncing on stage behind the rap artist in the gangster hip-hop rap video. That's,
You know, I would say that with the girls in the background, that definitely had to be an industry plot. You understand? If you look at old school videos, people they would just do normal videos in their neighborhood, in the house. It wasn't all theatrical how it is today, you know? I feel like it's spearheaded into what he's exactly explaining right now. You know, they got the girls in there. So not only is attracting someone to, you know, condition themselves to think and have the same mindset as the artist, but also what's in the background will also be appealing to anyone who wants to be in that position as well, such as women, children, etc. You understand what I mean? Sometimes we don't look at things the way we should. It just goes right over our head, pause, no diddy, only because we're all busy with our daily lives, you know? But sometimes I feel like we just need to disconnect and reconnect so we can actually see and hear and understand better.
it's not his girlfriend, that's his mama, grandmama, and their friend girls and their favorite aunts. So they ideate on feminist stuff like who's going to take care of me, and I got women I live of. I'm not a producer, I'm not a protector, and you got this whole downhill spiral, which is leading us to where we are right now, where there's no duty, honor, accountability, responsibility, bravery, courage. There's no guilt, no shame to keep you self-corrected and self-focused. You're not interested in making where you live a better, safer, more secure place filled with economic prosperity, sense of purpose, morality, and ethics, and you're not dedicating yourself to being a man or a woman of public peace, dignity, and order. You just let it all go to hell.
I see why he was the judge. You understand? He's kicking some facts right now, some truth bombs right now. You understand? This is the kind of person you want to sit down and just, you want to have a conversation where it could last probably all day. No diddy, but as far as like soaking in the information, the history, the knowledge, you know, you can see he bears a lot of knowledge. He knows a lot.
And you try to destroy all human character building things, because anything counts. Because if you have character, and let's say you're a man, that means if you happen to be on the Titanic and it goes down, you say, ma'am, you and your child may have my seat on a lifeboat. I'll drown in the freezing waters. What happens is you say, I've got on a dress too, so get out of the way. That's my seat. You know? No, take him and throw him over there and chum the sharks with him. You know?
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely see that they've kind of just continued, or they moved it on. I mean, it's a Fed operation, and then they realized the power of media, the power of Hollywood, the power of propaganda through the TV screen.
Facts.
And it's interesting to see that despite overwhelming evidence that that's what's happening in terms of the music, and I know I'm on the right track. As soon as you say, like, gangster rap is a Fed operation, as soon as you start talking about the Fed's involvement in Hollywood, the media goes crazy. The media has always been an extension of the Feds. They literally paid them Operation Mockingbird after they shot JFK. They had them on payroll to, you know, control the masses and what they think. And yet you have people who are still so controlled. And I can't think of a better example of that than looking at the fawning over Barack Obama and the fawning over Kamala Harris, and their belief that magically if a journalist writes that they're black and she creates this trove of fake photos of aunts and uncles and a photoshopped photo of her and her grandma Beryl, that's not her grandma.
She came back from the grave.
Yeah, exactly. Then suddenly
Reincarnation.
people just...
For those who don't know and just now tuning in and not aware who Candace Owen is, I suggest you go to her channel, you know, so you get up to game on her. But right now, she's been exposing Kamala Harris, and she's not letting down. She hasn't been sued. Then no one has sent her a cease and desist. So, hey, I'm just leave it at that, all right?
Just believe it. They just go, oh, well, if the media is telling me that this obviously Hindu woman is black, then I better just accept that she's going to be the first black president. And it's just incredible that people can't stop and process that the media is not telling you the truth.
That's 50 years of glorification of dysfunction. Don't think, just accept. And it's a propaganda thing that they've been laying out there for a long time. And back in the 60s, if you were at the right college campus, you could hear them planning it. Like join both political parties to create chaos, so that's a smoke screen you can operate behind. Okay, propagandize the public. Take the black experience. You want to be fair to the black folk in the country, so you extend that fairness to other things, and you can use it as a cover. We can get into that later if you want to, but it's a farce, and it's a bill of goods that's being sold on the public. Now, when you get into this whole thing and you get back to the FBI, you have to understand that the FBI is not a holy organization.
It's a gang.
How it came into existence. They wanted to get Jack Johnson. Jack Johnson was the first black world heavyweight champion. Nobody could beat him. And back then, they'd have bouts 25, 30, 40 rounds worth till nobody was standing and nobody could beat him. And Jack Johnson had a white wife. So people objected to him traveling around with his white wife and her entourage, and they just thought this was just horrible. So they created the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, to go get something that became the Mann Act, which you can see them using on Diddy, and they used it on R. Kelly. I'm not defending either one of them or persecuting them either or prosecuting, but that's what they were using. So what happens is Jack Johnson and his wife were going across
state line,
Georgia, to go to a seaport, to go to France, and they had gotten 15 minutes in when the FBI, who were not armed in those days, were accompanied by U.S. Marshals. They rushed the train and they arrested him. They prosecuted him, convicted him. He escaped. He went to France. His mother wanted to see him, and he tried to sneak back in. He got caught, served his time, actually more for the escape than for the offense, wound up dying in a car wreck in 1946. Obama wouldn't pardon him, but Trump did, posthumously. And for a lot of older black folk, Jack Johnson was Muhammad Ali, Joe Louis, in prototype. But that's how Hoover got started. He was assigned to the brothels in New York, and he was masquerading as one of those little special taste functions on the third floor. He was a cute little colored boy at the time. By the way, Smithsonian Institution and the History Channel, they have gotten into him being black and passing. And J. Edgar Hoover. You look, I'll show you some pictures.
Never heard this.
Oh, I'll show you some pictures, and if you look at him, you're looking at somebody that looks more black than Kamala does. So anyway, that's how the FBI came into existence, and they had made a career or a history, and with this guy in charge for 50-some years, of being very political and keeping things under control. That was his game. World War I, he started doing this anti-German thing. Then it became anti-communist. And after World War I, when they had prohibition, they got assigned the task of keeping track of legitimately produced alcohol, which...
You see, I got lost in the sauce right now. You know, we supposed to be reacting right now, but I feel like I'm in school at this point. Listen, Judge Joe Brown always dropping knowledge. Make sure you go to Candace Owens' channel and you go see the video for its entirety. I will put the link in my description. I'm not going to play the whole entire video because, you know, we do got to give a credit, and credit is due. With that being said, listen, if you like what you saw and you want to see more videos like this, consider hitting that like button. Definitely subscribe to the channel and also hit the notification bell. I'll see you guys on the next one.